Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
Welcome into the Fairways of Life show from the PXG Custom Studios. You never played like this before, period. All right, we're going to break down at the start of the show today Justin Thomas, what we heard from him. Let's start by these comments to the press.
I mean, the hard part about it is it's really hard to win. And I feel like I've been playing well enough to win for a couple years, but just because you feel that way and you are, obviously that doesn't mean that you're going to. I mean, obviously, 23 was tough, and it was trying to work my way through it and get my way out of that. But it definitely, I feel like I was putting more pressure on myself even last year to win than I was this year. And I feel like my game is in such a better place and in a good spot to where I'm just really trying as hard as I can to get myself in a place mentally of just trusting and playing and just committing to what I'm doing and having the belief that it's going to be good enough the more often I get myself there. And I've done that a couple times this year and hadn't been able to close it out. And, you know, I even knowing in the playoff, it was like, you know, if it obviously I plan and hope and want to win, but if it doesn't, we're just going to keep plugging and try to put ourselves there next time.
What's going on, folks? Welcome into the Fairways of Life show. So when we talk about a player, especially a player of the caliber of Justin Thomas, right, a multiple-time major champion, he's now won 16 times on the PGA Tour. Along the way, he set what was, again, yet another course record. You're talking about an elite player by the measurement of his career. Yes, it had been a long time since he had won prior to the RBC Heritage. But to me, there's the elements that go into it. There's the technical, there's the strategy, there's the emotional, there's the capturing of the elusive. And that's what we're trying to break down in this segment for you. So we took a look at a couple different things. All right, so you have that time period between when he won last and this one. It was 1,064 days. So we went with Data Golf's pressure tool, which is really interesting. Now, basically what the pressure tool is from Data Golf is they measure how a player performs in pressure situations as compared to their historic norms. It's a fascinating piece of information. And then they use what they call true strokes gained, which is raw strokes gained against the average of the field that's then adjusted to the strength of that particular specific field. So yes, field strength as to raw strokes gain, or true strokes gain as they call it, can vary from week to week. The standard is against the average on tour for an entire season. So if you look at the pressure tool for Justin Thomas, his true strokes gain therein is plus 2.5 entering the final round under pressure in 2025. That's compared to a career average just under positive 2.0, which means JT is playing better than a half shot right now that he ever has. It's an important stat. Also not shocking, according to Data Golf. Right now, he is one of the hottest golfers on the planet, a full 2 shots better per round than the average player. The specific number, if you want to know, is plus 1.93. So when we look at that in terms of Justin Thomas breaking through, first question I have is, okay, let's look forward. Let's look at the majors. The next major championship is at Quail Hollow. When he won there in 2017, and I'm going to show you this in just a moment, it was part of a crazy year for Justin Thomas. When we started thinking crazy thoughts about what he was capable of accomplishing, which there are indications that he's back on that path again. We'll explain and justify accordingly. But Quail Hollow, he's already won there. Happy hunting grounds. The U.S. Open is at Oakmont. Everyone's going to tell you it's about length off the tee. It is, but it's a U.S. Open, so the rough is still going to be a factor. So I look at total driving, and his stat there isn't bad. at least as compared to his accuracy off the tee, without including total driving, folks, as you know, is both distance and accuracy combined. So I think it's a very important stat for Oakmont. And then you got the Open at Royal Portrush, where you're going to have more room off the tee. That's going to be about ball striking. That's going to be about putting, on, albeit slower greens than most PGA Tour players play week in and week out, obviously. Right? So from there, now we get into the emotional. And in November last year, they had their baby girl Molly born. And when you're talking about players that have a child, a new dad, a lot of times it goes in one of two directions. Either they get a lot better at what they do, or they start to struggle. I remember one time talking to Billy Casper, who won, 51 times on the PGA Tour, multiple major championships. And I asked Mr. Casper, I said, how was it that you seemingly were not impacted by stress? Because it was a period there in the early 1960s of proficiency where, yeah, he was doing better than Arnold Palmer. He was doing better than Jack Nicklaus. You shake your head when you think about that now. And Billy Casper said to me, he had this way of talking. He spoke like this. He said, Matty, I had 11 children. I didn't have time to be stressed. So the pressure didn't consume him. To that point, what are the emotions like for Justin Thomas? You saw it at the end of Sunday's round. What was it like to be there with his family? What was it like to have his wife and baby in tow?
For sure. We unfortunately had the disappointing walk together as a family in Tampa. After had a couple shot lead there with a couple holes to go, and didn't have a good finish, and Victor went in there. So it was, that I feel like I used a lot of that as kind of momentum or just to build on and motivation, if you will. But so it was great to have them there behind the green and be able to enjoy that win and celebrate with them. And I mean, the joy and excitement it brought to me to be able to see them after the putt went in and even walking up to the green was something I definitely didn't think I would feel in past. But the putt in the playoff it was a putt I feel like I'd seen in past. It's kind of a funky little pin of if you try to play too much break, it seems like it kind of stays out. But it just, more than anything, like I did all weekend, I felt like I had my read of a little bit outside the left of it being straight and falling right, and I just committed to that and really just tried to put a good stroke with good speed on it, and yeah, it looked good the whole way. I mean, just having her here, having her and Jill here, it's just seeing them. I mean, walking up 18 green, even in regulation, I had to look away because it's when you're out there in the moment, you're focused on what you're doing. I mean, it's business. I mean, I'm trying to execute and do what I'm doing and trying to win a golf tournament, and just walking up there and seeing them and not knowing what Andrew did on 17, and I'm obviously trying to figure out how I'm going to either make this putt and also two putt it, and it's hard to not start thinking about what could be when I see them. So that's where I had to just kind of like put my head down and take a deep breath, because it's like that's when I feel like I could get into, I want this so bad for us. And I mean, how unbelievable my wife Jill's been, and just being a rock star and supporting. So I mean, I just would just tell her, how much fun it was for us to do this as a family, I'd say.
So that point number 2, to the emotional, it looks like he's in a good headspace. Here is, as I promised you, the arc of his wins. It had been 1,064 days, again, since his last win at the PGA Championship in May of 2022. He's now the 58th player to reach 16 or more wins in the history of the PGA Tour. He did it at 31 years, 11 months, in 22 days for his 16th victory, illustrated there. So now it leads us to the elusive. And there's nothing more elusive in golf than the mysteries that surround the soul-searching part of the game called putting. Those who are great putters shrug their shoulders and go, the way to be a great putter is to simply not try to be a great putter. Okay, thanks for that. But for Justin Thomas, he found something.
obviously it's a lot of work and time spent on it, but I mean, as funny as it is, a huge help. I called Xander at the end of last year because I think he's one of the best putters and fundamentals, and not just putting but everything, and I just was like, can I just pick your brain for like 2 or 3 hours, just talk to you about putting? And so he came out with me, and then he just was asking me a bunch of different questions. And I mean, you guys obviously know Xander, but he doesn't leave any box unchecked. He's going to, like he said that day, he's like, if it has anything to do with you potentially improving in golf, I've probably done it or tried it. And so I just was talking to him about his process and how he reads greens and how he sees things and his practice and everything. And it honestly was just being with him, and he would kind of ask something, and I was like, well, yeah, like I used to do that. And then it was like, well, how about something like this? Like, yeah, I used to use the string line here. Okay. And then the more I was talking, I'm like, I don't do any of the things that I used to do my best putting years. Like 2017, 18, I was very, very regimented of the things that I did, and how he said it is I had a home base and I had no home base. I had things that I did, but it was a very vague bag of things, and there was no consistency to it. And I feel like I used to have a very good home base of fundamentals and things that I did. So it honestly, while he helped, it was more of the questions he asked made me realize that I'm trying basically too hard, and I'm trying too many different things, versus I think it's a serious skill to continue to work on the things that you do really well and not doing them differently. And I think that's been more of what it is. It's just, I have my fundamentals and things that I do and checkpoints, and I'm sticking to them.
The significance of what Justin just said right there is, I think, more important than everything else that we just heard. Although I realize that one builds towards the other. He mentioned specifically 17 and 18 and how his proficiency with the putting were good there. And I'm going to get into how good it was as compared to where he is right now. But let's compare 19 through the full season of 24 and bring us into 25. You can see he was off the charts bad as compared to the rest of the PGA Tour. Strokes gained putting. In 2025, his average, by the way, in those years I just mentioned, in fairness, it paid off, 126th. So far this year, he is top 25, just under plus 0.5, so half a shot. The last time he was in the top 50, those 2 years, 17 and 18. What he's doing is that significant. Fascinating stuff. I love the insights you get when we actually hear from the players. All right, talk about Ben Hogan Golf. It is your chance to be a part of the iconic brand of Ben Hogan. It is direct to consumer. That means that the Ben Hogan Golf Company is your tour truck. I was perusing their website before we went on the air today. Their irons blow me away. They got stuff for the entire bag, but the Icon irons, the Legend irons, the Fort Worth MB irons, the PTX Tour irons, and more. Be proud of what you play. Be iconic yourself. Be a legend. BenHoganGolf.com for it all. When we come back, a special guest that's making a lot of noise in the PGA Tour, young golfer that's already a multiple-time winner.
Head down. Water down the left, bunker down the right. Take the club straight back.
Wandering minds. When golfers lose their focus, they're totally... But Bridgestone can help. Introducing Mindset. The ball scientifically designed to keep you focused. First, identify your target. Next, visualize your shot path.
And then focus on the green dot and smooth one.
Play the Tour B and E12 with Mindset technology.
You see what happens when we work together? Stuff like that.
FlightScope Mevo Plus is the ultimate indoor and outdoor golf launch monitor and simulator. It gives you the club and ball data you need with the accuracy you demand. Mevo Plus comes with ownership of simulated golf courses for you to play and practice at home. Mevo Plus is an essential golf partner to help you improve and understand your game better. Put more purpose in your practice. To learn more and get your Mevo Plus, shop now at FlightScope.com.
Innovation has been at the heart of every SuperStroke grip we've ever created, cementing our status as the #1 putting grip on tour. Now the best just got better. Introducing SuperStroke Synergy, our most advanced putting grips ever, for unmatched confidence to quiet your hands and your mind. Find the perfect grip for your game at superstrokeusa.com.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
Great shot from the Zozo Championship. That victory by Nico Echavarria was his second on the PGA Tour. Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show, folks. Matt Adams here with you, and I am delighted to tell you, as I was teasing in the last segment, who it would be. It is Nico that's our guest over the next couple of segments. It's a chance to get to know him a little bit better. We ended up finding ourselves on a common path because of the little logo that you can see there on the shirt, the penguin. And Nico is certainly distinguished his path already as a multiple-time winner on the PGA Tour. In all fairness, he's won 6 times already. He pretty much has won at every single level that he has ever played the game. Delighted to welcome into the show. Nico, how are you? How's life going for you?
Hey, Matt. How's it going? Here in New Orleans, it's pouring outside, so not a lot of practice going on right now.
So your life as a professional golfer started, from the research that I read, it looked like it was your grandfather and your dad that took you to the golf course when you were still a toddler?
Yeah, it's very, very little. I was maybe 1 or 2 years old, and I already had a golf club in my hand. My mom was never a golfer, but she was probably the one who pushed me the most to go out and practice. But I took up the game because of my grandfather and my dad, who were my dad's still a pretty good golfer. He's probably a 9 or 10 handicap. And my grandfather, who passed away, he got to a 0 handicap and a lot of years ago, but he was a good golfer.
And you have 2 older brothers, right? Andreas and Miguel. How much were you driven by being the younger brother of those 3?
I just think it was easier for me. They were always better than me growing up, and I was always trying to beat them at anything I could. As the little sibling, you're always trying to grab your mom and your dad's attention that you can do it better than your older brothers. Andres, growing up, was a very, very good junior golfer. He ended up going to the University of Florida, and I wanted to be like him growing up. South American champion. He won it all growing up, and I think that helped me a lot. He showed me like the path to go, and it made it very easy for me to go to school in the U.S. and turn pro after.
Yeah, you went to the University of Arkansas. When you were competing against Andreas, What was it like as you started to get closer? And then I guess I have to ask the question, once you broke through, you started to win as a touring professional. What was it like with your brothers? What was the support like there to know that you had that safety net of a loving family?
It's been good. There's always been a lot of competition between us since we were little. But it's been good. There's been a lot of support, and he played. Miguel didn't play after college, but Andres did play in PGA Tour Latin America and Corn Ferry for a long time. So it was weird playing against your brother. I don't know how the Hoygaards do it. For me, it was just different. It was weird. But he's been a lot of support for me. He's helped me a lot in my career with all that he lived in golf and all his experiences. He was able to show me the way in the pro golf life.
We talk all the time about golf being a sport on a global basis. Coming from Colombia, what is the golf culture like there? And so how was it for you as a developing player, obviously a very good player at a young age?
Golf is minimal. There's very few golf courses in my city. There's only four golf courses where I grew up in Medellin. But overall in Colombia, it's very small. The biggest city is Bogota for golf. And it's just all about soccer. Soccer is what you grow up wanting to play. Whatever all the kids play during lunch break in school. So it was weird being a golfer out of your school that no one else played golf was different. It's a very limited sport where you basically have to have money to play it because there's a lot of country clubs, private clubs. There's not enough public golf. Hopefully we can change that. But yeah, golf is small and we've been doing good things to make it grow, but it's still a long ways to go.
What is it like for you when you go home? Do you think now, because of your success, that people have a better understanding of what golf is? And I have to ask you one question, because I remember talking to Bernhard Langer about it going back to Germany. He said the people just didn't understand golf. They figure if you play, you basically can win every single week. When you go home, what's the reaction you get from people? Do they know?
They're starting to know, but I think Camilo was the one who did a lot for Colombian golf. He put us on the map. He's been a great player. Obviously, what he went through it was very tough with all his daughter, but coming back again and winning again for the fifth time, he's put us on the radar, and we've also been trying to make some noise to put Colombia as a golfing country, which is going to be tough to be, but people are starting to get it. We've had good golfers. We've had a lot of college golfers playing right now, and hopefully we can keep the trend and have more guys on tour and in college.
Are you involved in these efforts to expand the game? But from what you're alluding to, it sounds to me like you're also engaged.
Yes, we started an AJGA event, first AJGA event in South America. It's called the Nico Open, and it's been amazing. The amount of kids that have played it, and you've starting to see we've only had it twice. This year's gonna be the third time, but you can see how the players are developing. Our first year, Maria Jose Marin, who's top 5 or top 7 in the world rankings, won it, and that was very big for the event, and we hope to keep attracting college coaches to see more of golfers in South America and Latin America, so these kids can have an opportunity to play college golf, which is our main goal with this event.
That is awesome. Well done with that. I want to talk to you about your play as a touring professional, Nico. If you would, I'd rather ask you and have you describe it instead of me going down the pathway of stats. As a touring pro, how do you define yourself?
I'm a person that likes to enjoy life. If you see me, I'm gonna be probably laughing in the golf course, having a good time with my caddy, having a good time with my playing partners. It's this sport that we picked is too stressful to be mad or be serious, so you have to have a good time out there. Um, and I like to enjoy myself out there.
That is awesome. Have you always had that mentality? Was there ever a time that you measured your self-worth by the score you shot that day?
Yeah, let's say it didn't used to be like that. I used to get a lot more angrier in the golf course. I still sometimes do, but it's gotten to the point where having a good time is more important than anything else. My attitude the last few years has been a lot better, and I think that reflects on my scores too. So without trying or without focusing too hard on the results, just having a good time, my results have been better.
Obviously, you had a very good time when you won for the first time in the PGA Tour. You earned your card for the 22-23 season, and then in early 23 calendar year, you break through with that first victory. What was that like for you? What were the emotions like when you won in Puerto Rico?
It was incredible. I honestly didn't see myself winning on tour that quickly, especially because of the first few months weren't easy. I made very few cuts, so it was a learning curve for me at the beginning, and having that victory was very important because it gave me more time to adapt and adjust to a new tour where things are very different than the Corn Ferry where I spent 4 years. So that victory was super, super important in my career, just because it gave me time to learn and adapt to a new environment.
When you talked about learning, how much was that learning not simply about where you pick up the rental car or where you're going to stay or what restaurants you like or what golf course suits your game? How much was it learning about yourself? What revelations did you have about you as a competitor after that victory?
It's more in learning your tendencies and when the lows are low, how do you get out of them? And that's why it's not easy as a rookie on tour, where you have a bad stretch and you miss a few cuts, then you don't get into the next few events, and then you, in the blink of an eye, your season's over and you lost your card. So I learned a lot after winning, also because I was getting into events where I was the worst ranked player on the field. I missed a lot of cuts after the win in Puerto Rico, and that helped to figure out what we had to do to make a leap in what needed to get better to be able to compete with the Rory McIlroys and the Scotty Schefflers. And so yeah, it helped me with giving myself time to figure out what we needed to get better at.
All right, we're going to take a break here and pick up on those areas that Nico said he needed to get better at, and in particular, this discussion about how he does against superstars. He mentioned Rory and Scotty, but the second time that he won on the PGA Tour, it was over a pretty big name too, including Justin Thomas. So we have much more to talk about with this man, including his significant other that's establishing her own presence on social media, walking alongside of him. I want to get more into his family too. Remember the phone call back home after the Zozo Championship that touched the hearts of many. We're getting to know Nico Echavarria on the Fairways of Life show today, and it will continue right after this.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
At PXG, we believe you get more out of your golf clubs when you're custom fitted. This ensures that every PXG club in your bag is completely dialed in to deliver maximum performance for your swing. Golfers of every skill level should go through this process, and PXG's judgment-free fittings will make sure you're completely comfortable and satisfied. Book your fitting and see what we can do for your game. PXG, you've never played like this before, period.
Innovation has been at the heart of every Super Stroke grip we've ever created, cementing our status as the #1 putting grip on tour. Now the best just got better. Introducing Super Stroke Synergy, our most advanced putting grips ever, for unmatched confidence to quiet your hands and your mind. Find the perfect grip for your game at superstrokeusa.com.
What would your ultimate golf experience be like? Just you and a friend? Or would you round up some buddies for a foursome? Just one day? Or an entire week? There's a good chance your ultimate golf experience could be Michigan's magnificent 10. 10 incredible courses set among 3 remarkable resorts. See for yourself. Book your ultimate golf experience today.
Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. You know, Hub's Peanuts has been cooking up the top 1% of peanuts for over 70 years. And these aren't your average nut. These are super extra large Virginia peanuts cooked in the USA. Family-owned Hub's Peanuts have more protein than any other nuts. So whether it's a boost on the course or a special gift, the variety of flavors guarantees Hub's Peanuts is just what you need. Family-owned, nutritious, delicious, and sustainable. Hub's Peanuts, it's just right. HubsPeanuts.com.
When you choose Newton shafts, you're choosing more than a product. You're choosing innovation, pride, and excellence right here in America. We pay attention to the minutest of details, and you can feel that in the performance of our shafts.
Welcome back to the PXG Custom Studios. Log on to pxg.com to find out more. Matt Adams here with you. Nico Echavarria is our guest, the 30-year-old from Colombia. He is a multiple-time winner on the PGA Tour. You may have heard before we were going to break, I was talking about, and Nico, you phrased it as getting out of the lows of the lows. And I know a lot of that with you is about the people and the family that you have surrounded yourself with. Claudia D'Antonio, your girlfriend, has made a lot of news all by herself because her willingness to share on social media and the path that you guys are on. What's it like having someone with you to kind of share this whole experience with?
Yeah, my life partner, we're getting married in November 29th in Punta Cana. So we're gonna be in it for forever. But it's been great. Having someone that knows and understands what you have to do in this game, the amount of practice that you have to do, the amount of traveling. Since she played very good golf growing up and in college. She graduated from LSU. She did her master's in Miami, all playing golf. So having her understand what this the amount of things that you have to do to be a professional golfer is super important for me, and having her on the road all the time is even better for me because it can get lonely out here.
Well, you were at Arkansas. You said she was at LSU. If I may, how did you two meet?
We met in representing our countries playing golf in the South American Championship. She's from Venezuela, so she was representing her country, and I was representing Colombia.
Beautiful. Before the break, when you spoke about learning the things that you needed to do to compete against the likes of Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler, and you heard me note the fact, well, when you won the Zozo, tied for second was Justin Thomas. But if I may, what did you work on? Where did you go to make yourself better battle hardened to compete against the best?
Well, I started not only golf, but also I hired Eduardo Molinari to do my stats. He works with a lot of great players. I started working harder on the gym with my trainer Alex Bennett in Jacksonville. I changed sports psychologist because I needed to get a little better with my mental side. So I did a lot of changes that I felt like we needed in my team to make that push forward. And a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hours practicing. But it was very important hiring Eduardo just for me and my coach to focus on really what needed to get better. A lot of times the stats are not really accurate because there's pins that you're not trying to go after, and sometimes the numbers can mislead you to what something's not bad in your game or something's really bad. So with his help, we've made a lot of progress and found out things that were good enough and some things that had to get a lot better.
One of the things that is not just good enough, it's very, very good, is your putting. Currently, you're leading the PGA Tour in strokes gained putting. It's funny because when you think about the game today, to me, it almost seems like, you drive for dough and you putt for show. But in your case, multiple-time winner, and you're doing it very much with the short game in addition to these other areas that you're working on. Could you kind of talk to us about your competitive mix of what you bring to the golf course and those strengths?
Yeah, definitely my putting has been very good the last, I would say, 8 to 9 months. After the US Open in Pinehurst, we decided that we needed to make a change of putters. I've putted with an Odyssey putter for a while now, and we wanted to keep Odyssey, but we needed to change the neck because it was giving me too much face rotation. So the guys at Odyssey helped me find a putter that would fit me better for my stroke and take a little bit of the rotation out. I putt with a claw, so having a lot of rotation with a claw is not ideal. And it's clicked since. The fall the putter was lights out, and we started the year really good too. We almost won in Sony with the putter super hot. Unfortunately, the worst putting round I've had this year has been my last round at the Masters, but hopefully we can move out of that and have a good putting week this week.
Well, you had a pretty good putting experience at the Masters in the par 3. What was that experience like for you? Just the entirety of it, going to Augusta National the first time, winning the playoff of the par 3 contest over JJ, and then actually playing in the tournament proper.
Yeah, everything was incredible. The people at Augusta National know how to run a proper event. Yeah, it was truly amazing. They make you feel very special out there. And there was a lot of highlights of the week. I had the opportunity to play with Jose Maria Olazabal on Wednesday. That same Wednesday, I won the par 3 tournament with Claudia on the back. That was special. We're never gonna forget that. And I was having a really good week until the fourth round. But from those rounds are the things that you learn a lot. You can tell why that place could play so hard. It absolutely kicked my butt last round, but I learned a lot of things. I learned where not to hit it to some pins on Sunday, and hopefully we can play next year and play much better than we did this year.
If you didn't become a touring pro, what would you do?
I've loved tennis growing up. I'm actually a pretty good tennis player, so I would have tried to play tennis. Since we grew up very little, we played all sports, and tennis was a good one for me. So I would try to play tennis.
How good were your older brothers at tennis, by the way?
Growing up, they were better than me, so that they had the edge on me, and I've always, since little, I try to beat them, but I couldn't. So once we leveled up, I took an advantage over them.
Yeah, there's a common theme there, folks. If you're hearing it woven throughout this man's accomplishments in life, the benefit of being the third of those three brothers. Now, speaking of family, my friend, you made a lot of people smile and earned yourself many, many fans when you called your parents after winning at the Zozo. Watch this, folks. This was from the PGA Tour and a tweet, or X, if you please, that they put out immediately following.
Nico, estamos felices. Nico, estamos a gusto. Ay, qué rico, llora bastante.
Los quería llamar. Los quiero mucho. Después hablamos con calma. Sí. Con mis papás.
Uy,
chao.
¿estás despierto?
Después hablamos.
Despierto.
Después hablamos, chao.
That was so awesome, my friend. When you get a chance to kind of watch it back like that, relive the memories again. I loved your mom said we're going to Augusta, and your dad wanted to talk to you about the 3-wood. I mean, it was just awesome.
Yeah, it was very late at night. I think it was 2 or 3 in the morning. And you can tell how much energy they had from that round, especially from that last 9 holes that we played. But yeah, it was a neat moment that I'm never gonna forget. They gave me an opportunity to call my parents for 2-3 minutes, and I was able to, and just pure emotion came out once I saw them, because of all those emotions that I felt on the back 9. You kind of have to hide them, and once you're able to see your loved ones, it just, you let it out.
That is so very, very cool. If you book, podcast, Netflix series that you're binging on, what is it for you right now?
We've actually watched a few shows. Last week was an off week for me. We started the 2nd season of The Last of Us. We started Friends and Neighbors, or Neighbors and Friends on Apple TV. We finished Severance. So there was a lot of TV watching last week.
Well, I mean, that goes to what you were talking about, right? That a lot of people don't realize when they look at a touring professional athlete, the assumption is that, you know, the streets are paved with gold, and you're talking about getting by. You're talking about having fun. You're talking about kind of getting yourself above the lows of the lows, to use your phrase. So how important is that in terms of having a place where you're, even if you're in a hotel like you probably are right now, as you said, it was raining outside, that you're able to find some kind of normalcy, if you please?
There's just so much going on a golf round that you have to be able to, or you have to learn how to disconnect. And me and Claudia love watching shows. I think actually we're gonna go watch a movie since it hasn't stopped raining. So we're gonna go to the movie theaters once we can leave the hotel. so yeah, we like enjoying eating good out here, and just distracting ourselves. I think that's key.
In just a second, I'm going to ask you about Penguin. I'm going to ask you about your sponsors. But before I get to that, Nico, as you know, once you have gotten to this stage, you become the CEO basically of your own company, Nico Inc., right? What do you want your brand to represent?
Just to be true to myself. I like to have a good time out there. I like to laugh. I like to have good conversations with my caddy, and I feel like with what I wear with Original Penguin, it suits my personality. They're all about having fun, and with the new prints they're coming out, they're super cool, super fun, super enjoyable, especially with summer coming in. The new pants and shorts that they have are absolutely fire. So I'm super happy that I have a brand that relates to my morals and to the way I like to live.
And what about your other sponsors? Who else are you associated with?
I have Stevens in my left chest. They've been really good to the University of Arkansas alumni. Pretty much if you make it on tour, they're helping you out. I have EMC, which is a lighting company. I have Access Golf on my back. I have St. Regis Turks and Caicos on my golf bag. And with a new change in sponsors, which was very big, was Strixon. I've been with Strixon this year for the first time, and it's been great. They've been very easy to work with, so I'm very happy with that change.
Awesome stuff. We're super excited about everything that lies before you, Nico, but I'm curious to ask you the question. We're just getting into the heart of the golf season. What are you the most excited about in the weeks and months before you?
I'm very excited with the PGA Championship coming up. Quail Hollow is a very cool test of golf. A lot of variety of holes they have out there. I think Charlotte is one of the most fun cities we go to. We have good friends out there, and you eat really good food out in Charlotte. So I'm looking forward to the PGA Championship and hopefully securing my start in the next in the U.S. Open and the Open Championship. So that's gotta have a good summer to be able to do that, and I think I'm feeling good about my game. So hopefully we can have some good results.
That's awesome. And then November, congratulations to you and Claudia. We wish you guys the very, very best. Where's the wedding going to be, by the way?
It's gonna be in Punta Cana, where they had the PGA event this week.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. Thank you for your time, my friend. We wish you all the best of luck, and we hope and look forward to seeing you at all the majors aforementioned.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Cheers, guys. See ya. Bye, Nico. All right. We'll be back with more of the Fairways of Life show, folks, right after this.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
What does it take to be an original?
Cam knows something about that. So does Chi-Chi, Charlie, and you get it. In 1955, we stepped onto the scene. Now a new generation of pros are wearing the most iconic styles in the game. The fit, the feel, the look. It's all an expression of you. Original Penguin. Here for the good times.
Innovation has been at the heart of every SuperStroke grip we've ever created, cementing our status as the #1 putting grip on tour. Now the best just got better. Introducing Super Stroke Synergy, our most advanced putting grips ever, for unmatched confidence to quiet your hands and your mind. Find the perfect grip for your game at superstrokeusa.com.
At PXG, we believe you get more out of your golf clubs when you're custom fitted. This ensures that every PXG club in your bag is completely dialed in to deliver maximum performance for your swing. Golfers of every skill level should go through this process, and PXG's judgment-free fittings will make sure you're completely comfortable and satisfied. Book your fitting and see what we can do for your game. PXG, you've never played like this before, period.
FlightScope Mevo Plus is the ultimate indoor and outdoor golf launch monitor and simulator. It gives you the club and ball data you need with the accuracy you demand. Mevo Plus comes with ownership of simulated golf courses for you to play and practice at home. Mevo Plus is an essential golf partner to help you improve and understand your game better. Put more purpose in your practice. To learn more and get your Mevo Plus, shop now at flightscope.com.
When you choose Newton shafts, you're choosing more than a product. You're choosing innovation, pride, and excellence right here in America. We pay attention to the minutest of details, and you can feel that in the performance of our shafts.
Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. Head over to NewtonGolfCo.com, NewtonGolfCo.com, and see why their elongated bend profile, along with their kinetic storage system, gives Newton golf shafts an incredibly stable feel. It's about delivering energy from the golf shaft, from your golf swing into the golf ball. Have you ever honestly felt, think about your driver, have you ever felt load at the top of your golf swing? You get the club to the top of your golf swing, you can feel the shaft load, so as you're coming down into the ball, you can transfer that energy with maximum power and efficiency. You can feel it with Newton golf shafts. They're being used by players at every level of the game, from the best of the best to all of the rest. They are proudly made, yes, right here in the USA. Check out NewtonGolfCo.com. It may not be a new driver that you need. It might just be a Newton golf shaft, and you can find them there. Okay, so we went over so much in today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview that we did with Nico. The reason we started this show back in 2006 was to do exactly what we just did. It was about the opportunity for all of us to get to know these players, in many cases, great champions when we first started as a radio show, because we see them as professional athletes. We see them as our heroes in many cases, major champions, etc. We wanted to get to know them as people too. And it's been incredibly fun and incredibly rewarding. A time now, folks, for our Did You Know, presented by FlightScope. Know your distance, know your data, know your gapping. FlightScope's new i4 rangefinder with its personalized club recommendations can make it easy. Did you know that last year 3.4 million golfers had a handicap index? Here's the breakdown of the last 5 years. You can see in the trend, more and more of you are posting your scores, and you can see through these charts. This data is all coming from the USGA, by the way. Here's the average handicap for males and females, with a full breakdown of the percentage of golfers in each range. Pretty fascinating, isn't it? The actual number is 14.2 for the men, by the way. So I'm guessing that for most of you that are sitting out there watching this, are saying to yourself, you know what? I'm not really as bad as I thought I was. Well, the new i4 rangefinder, you can get even better without making any changes to your swing. Make it easy. You can make it such with FlightScope. Go to flightscope.com for more information. So we've got some exciting stuff in store for us here in the Fairways of Life show. The next time that we're together, at least on this forum, we will be coming to you from the Emerald Isle. Today, we actually fly out. We have, I believe the number is some 40 souls in tow, fans of the show, and we started taking people to different places to play golf. We go up to Boyne Golf in Michigan. In 26, we've got a sold-out trip already to the old course at St. Andrews. But for me, I love bringing people back to Ireland. This trip, we're going to go to, look at these shots. We're going to go to the Northern Ireland to start. We're going to play Royal County Down. We're going to play Royal Portrush as she's being dressed out for the Open this July. And in many cases, when we get there like this in advance of majors, you know, the grandstands are up or in construction. The scoreboards, the iconic yellow ones, are up. But we're also going to do cultural things. Places like this. You know, this was the coastline where much of Game of Thrones was actually filmed for that series, and so much more, and all these different golf courses that we're going to get to share. I can't wait to share it with you. You can tell we're excited. That's why we're showing you all of this video. And like I said, we're all climbing on our respective planes. Some people are already there, getting acclimated, and myself and Dom will be heading out within the next, 24 hours or 12 hours. So heading out on our way too. Cannot wait to share it with you. We'll be there for a few weeks and bringing you all of the sights and the sounds. Busy week in the world of golf. It is a major championship week once again with the Chevron Championship. I love this time of year where almost every week we went from Masters, we went to a signature event. This week it's an absolute packed schedule of events throughout the world, including, again, a major championship on the docket. And that's the way it's going to be for the months moving forward. So many big events stacked together. Thank you to Nico for joining us on the show. It was great to get a chance to speak with him. Always great to have your company, folks. Until we are together again, be well and goodbye for now.